Okay, guys, here's the key I promised you. First one, determine the length of CD. So I'm going to highlight that in yellow. CD is right there. So I need two pieces of information about that triangle. And I have this, which is 16. And I have that makes that yellow triangle with 16 and 32. So I come over to here.
What?
And I have a theta of 32. I have an h of 16. And I need an opposite because it's across from 32. So there's my x. Now that is, of course, sine 32 equals x over 16. Number on the bottom, 16 times sine 32 equals. Go to my calculator, 16 times, not 13, 16 times sine 32. And I get 8.48. Now, I need to say, what would I use to do CB? Well, here is CB. I'm going to highlight that one in green. There is CB. What would I use to find CB? Well, I have an O, and a theta of 32, and I have an H of 16, and now I even know my O is 8.48. So I could use, and I need an adjacent. That's my X. So I could use sine, cos, or tan. Oh, sorry, I can't use sine. I can use cos or tan. The next question, what is the height of AC, which I'm going to highlight in blue? Go to my drawing. AC is right here in blue. Well, if this is 8.48 and this is 45, then this is 45. So that means these two sides have to be the same. So that's 8.48. And then finally, the distance from A to D, which I'm going to highlight in purple. A to D. So that is right down here. And since it makes a 90-degree triangle, I can do Pythagoras with 8.48 and 8.48. So I go 8.48 squared plus 8.48 squared, and I square root that to get the answer. Square root 8.48 squared plus 8.48 squared equals 11.99 or 12. Okay, the airplane is 37 kilometers north and 81 kilometers east. Sorry about that, guys. My battery died. So I have no idea if this is still recording or not. But we'll see. So the airplane is north and east of the airport. So the first triangle I need is 37 and 81 for north and east. So the plane is on this hypotenuse right here, if it were on the ground. So I need this distance to get to the plane. So this distance is the square root of 81 squared plus 37 squared, which is 89.1. Now, the plane is also 6 kilometers in the air. So I also need this 6. So this is the line I actually need, because I know this is 89 and I know this is 6, so I need to know how long this one is. So that is the square root of 89.1 squared plus 6 squared. .3. What is the angle along the ground? So if it's on the ground, I know I've got 37 and 81. I need the angle to get to the plane. Here's the airport. Here's the plane. So I need the angle between them right there. And I need it east of north. So once I find this angle, my theta, I don't know, but my opposite is 81 and my adjacent is 37. So I have to shift tan. Shift tan of 81 over 37 equals . So that is 65 degrees. So that means I am north 65 east, because I started going north, but I adjusted 65 to the east. The angle of elevation of the plane, well, I know that the plane is 6 kilometers in the air. I know that it's 89.1 away. I need this angle of elevation. So there's my theta. So again, it's tan, shift tan, because I need an angle, of 6 over 89.1. And I get shift tan 6 divided by 89.1, 3.85, or 4 degrees. It's a very tough question. All right, this question isn't so bad. I need the height of the tree. So the tree is here. So what do I know about that yellow triangle? I have a theta of 32. I have an adjacent of 52. And I need the opposite of x. So that uses tan. So tan 32 is opposite x over adjacent 52. So 52 times tan 32 will get me the height of the tree. 52 tan 32. 32.5. So I'm going to write that right there. Now I also want to know the tree to the bottom of the canyon. So that is this blue triangle. And what do I have there? I got a theta of 67, an adjacent of 52 still. My opposite I don't know. So it's going to be the exact same as up here, except it's 52 times tan 67 to get my answer. And that's 122.5. Then I just add them. 32.5 plus 122.5 equals 155. Two trees are 100 meters apart. So there's 100. One tree is there. Tree 1. One tree is there. Tree 2. From a point midway between. So there's one triangle. There's the other triangle. If it's midway, this is 50. This is 50. The angles of elevation are 8 and 13. I want to know how much taller one tree is than the other. So tree 1 is going to be the taller one because it's a steeper angle. So I need to do tree 1 minus tree 2. How do I find tree 1? Well, I've got a theta and an adjacent, and I need an opposite. Theta, 13, adjacent, 50, opposite is T1. Then in T2, I've got a theta of 8, an adjacent of 50, and an opposite of T2. So then I just solve them and subtract. T1 is 50 tan 13. And then I got to subtract 50 tan 8 to get my answer. So 50 tan 13, there's 1, minus 50 tan 8. There's the other. And I get it to be 4.52 meters. Now this question. Okay, this Fernie Island is 1,750 meters north of Roberts Point. Well, here's Roberts Point, and I should probably do this in better color for you guys to see, maybe yellow. There's Roberts Point. There's Fernie Island. That's 1750. A sailboat leaves Roberts Point at 16 degrees, and it goes to Coal Island, so it goes out there. So that's the triangle it makes. Now, it tells you that it's 16 degrees, so this is my 16. So I have a theta of 16. I have an adjacent of 1750. And I want to know how big this whole triangle is because he sailed the whole triangle. So I need to find the hypotenuse, which is x, right out here. X, and I need to find the opposite, which is y. So what uses a and h? I need cos of 16 equals a 1750 over h. That'll find me h. 1750 divided by cos 16 plus, now I need my a, or my opposite, which is sine, so that's sine 16 equals, sorry, not sine, I need my a, and I know I need my opposite, and I have my a, so I have to do tan of 16 equals opposite, y, over 1750. So that is 1750 tan 16. That's the first side, that's the second side. And then I just have to add the 1750 to get a final answer. So 1750 divided by cos 16 plus 1750 times tan 16 plus 1750. And I get 4,072. Now, I'm going to erase this because I need to use the map again. Curtis Point is 800 meters north of Armstrong Point. So, there. I'm going to use yellow again. That was a good color for this. There is 800. So I'll draw that down here. $800. Then I leave Armstrong Point at 307. So I've gone all the way around to 307, which means what's left of the circle. There's 360 in a circle. So if I took off here at this is 307, this must be 53. And then I went across there. So now I want to know how far this boat traveled. So I need an H and an O again. My theta is 53. My A equals 800. Not 8,000. 800. My H, I don't know. And my O, I don't know. So all I do is the exact same thing as I did before. I do $800 plus, now A and H, adjacent over hypotenuse. So it's going to be 800 over cos 53 plus 800 times tan 53. And I get an answer of 800 plus 800 divided by cos 53 plus 800 times tan 53. And I get that to be 3190.95. Okay, a climbing club plans to climb a cliff. There's the cliff. That's what they want to climb. So I need to know some information about that. I know this is 43, but I need two pieces of information. So I'm going to need this piece right here. But that piece right there, I can only find by using the purple triangle. The purple triangle has a theta of 69, an adjacent of 30, and I need the opposite. So that's tan 69 equals opposite x over adjacent 30. So 30 tan 69 will give me x. That's what I need right there. Now in the orange triangle, I have a theta of 43. I have an adjacent of 30 tan 69, and I need my opposite. That's the one I don't know. So what uses that? It's tan. So tan 43 equals opposite x over adjacent 30 tan 69. Numbers on the bottom, so x equals 30 tan 69 times tan 43. 30 tan 69 times tan 43. 73 meters. A microwave tower is supported by wires. The anchor point of one wire is 9.8 meters from the base of the tower, and it's 37. The other one goes to the top, and it's 58. So there's my tower. One of them goes to the top, and the other one is also 9.8 away, and it doesn't go all the way to the top. This one's 37. This one's 58. I want to know how tall, how far from the top is this one. So if I know this one, x, and I know y, I can just subtract them. So the first one I'm going to do is x. This is opposite and adjacent, right? So tan 37 equals x over 9.8. So 9.8 tan 37 equals x. Y is going to be 9.8 tan 58 equals y. Then I just got to subtract them. So I go 9.8 tan 58 minus 9.8 tan 37. And I get 8.29. Oh, the question says nearest tenth, so 8.3. And finally, one of the world's longest suspension bridges. The towers of the bridge reach 135 meters above the level of the bridge. So there's the bridge. There's two towers. They're 135 meters tall. The angles from the center of the bridge are 10 and 18. So from the center, from the center it's 10.8. 10.8, 10.8. From the end, it's 18.65. And I want to know how long the bridge is. So if I can find this, and then I do times 2, I've got it, don't I? So to find this, I need to find x, and I need to find y. On the x side, I have theta of 10.8, opposite of 135, and adjacent of x. Over here on the y side, I have theta of 18.65, and opposite of 135, and then adjacent of y. So the orange side is going to be opposite over adjacent. So tan 10.8 equals 135 over x. So x equals 135 over tan 10.8. And on the purple side, y must equal 135 over tan 18.65. Now if I add those two together, x plus y, and then multiply that by 2, I'm going to get the whole answer. So I go to my calculator, and I do 135 divided by tan 10.8 plus 135 divided by tan 18.65. That gets me an answer, and then I multiply that by 2. And I get 2,215 meters. And that's it.